National Review has an article titled "So Pay Them More." It's kind of funny. This is apparently a middle of the road, not too far right, but a Republican conservative website. I guess the Mitt Romney type of website, the establishment conservative website, and they are funny. I guess whoever the writer is, I guess he's not very versed in economics, but basically, this is too hilarious. The left has always been pushing for the minimum wage for as long as I can remember, and the conservative position was, well, it destroys jobs, this, that, and the other. But the funny thing is, unknowingly, the conservatives published the same type of article that will get refuted, that they themselves refute with their own problems with the minimum wage. Basically, just to sum it up, we have a labor shortage right now because of COVID and the stimulus check, all sorts of factors. So labor shortage. So what would get businesses? How would businesses attract more workers? Well, this guy Kevin Williamson, he has a genius idea: pay the workers more to attract workers, which is like on its face, really. I can't believe. I mean, they should be embarrassed for running this article. It's pretty stupid. It's like, one, don't you think that the business person has actually thought of that? It hasn't occurred to you that it's like that's one of the most obvious things, but it's not so easy. Yes, paying people more is one of the solutions that businesses are going to have to do, but there's more things to take into account. One thing, inflation didn't hit everybody the same way. Meaning, yeah, if the inputs costs and the labor and the materials go up 20%, well, they can raise the price 20%. Well, if everybody, their customers, they get a pay bump of 20%, then everybody in the economy gets a 20% pay bump. Then okay, well, fine. You're not. What are we talking about here? There's no problem. But the issue is with inflation is not everybody gets inflated at the same rate. So you have certain economic trade-offs. And unfortunately, businesses are reluctant to raise prices. Not unfortunately, but that's just the reality. One, this guy doesn't understand substitution effects. If hotels or meat, steaks become too expensive, well, the customer will just have to switch out of that category completely and do something else. So it's not just the left thinks, the minimum wage should be raised because those prices are going to be or the minimum wage is going to be paid from the CEO's salary or whatever, or from the company's making millions upon millions of dollars, and they'll just make less profit, but their workers are going to be better off, which is probably not the case because prices actually tend to go up. It's not that it comes all of this increase. I mean, some of the increased labor inputs, it might come out of the profits, but most of it's not. Most of it's passed down to the customers. So it's just the same thing. Oh, and here's another thing too. That just paying people extra is only one of the considerations. But now that you're paying people extra, well, the actual business model might be tweaked. Instead of you having 3 workers that are making a low salary, well, if you have to pay people a lot to attract somebody, maybe you can attract 1 or 2 people with a higher salary, but they're more productive. So you have lesser employment. You can change your business around. So maybe automate some things, or maybe you tweak your store somehow so a more capable, productive employee can now do the work of two people that were lower paid. So it's not that it's just like a simple straight down the line. Oh yeah, just pay everybody more. Well, no, yes, people are gonna get paid more, sure, but then that might cause the business to change. So the applicants or the employees that actually work will have to be more productive. More productive meaning serve more customers by themselves, or hold up a lot of the business on their shoulders. So do we want the economy to go through that? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Everything is a trade-off. So it's not just as simple as black and white. And a business is reluctant to lose market share. I mean, one of the things this guy's probably not even going to mention in his article is you have different businesses have different margin levels. A mom and pop business doesn't have scale, so that's what a conservative talking point would be. A McDonald's can handle $15, $20 an hour minimum wage. They can cut costs and they can cut corners in other places and then still make the same money. A mom and pop restaurant can't handle a $20 minimum wage. So in essence, yes, but this is a minimum wage talking point. So it's almost exact for the exact same reasons why you don't increase the minimum. Why conservatives saying you shouldn't increase the minimum wage, which is mainly that it's going to destroy jobs. You can set the minimum wage higher, but there's like a stepping stone that people are going to be missing. Some kid that doesn't have much work experience that's young, their only competitive advantage is that they'll work for less money. The more you raise the minimum wage, the more the employer has options, and then they can get a really older, productive worker, and they don't need to give a young kid a shot. Stuff like that. I mean, and there's the same type of logic and reasoning applies to this article. Coincidentally, this stock photo not hiring. Police send resumes to Pop Killer. Oh, I've actually been to that store. What a coincidence! It's like a Los Angeles version, or like a Japanese version of like a cheesy Hot Topic. The hearts of men are mysterious. Economics is hard, but the Great Resignation is the least mysterious development of the COVID era. I mean, that's a little... I mean, people are puzzled by it. Like, you're not an economist, but it's so clear to you. I know the secret to keeping employees on the job. Pay them more. You could just tell this person just never ran a business, so it's just everything he's saying is just like arrogant. Economic libertarians in their propeller beanies, the country club Republicans in their blue blazers, people who lecture the world about bootstraps and self-reliance and rugged individualism. All these people seem to understand how supply and demand work in every market except the labor market. We go through this every year. Gasoline spikes. It would be central planners bitch and moan about price gouging and market manipulation and whatnot. Almost come to the economists to offer the dismal explanation: prices go up in the summer travel because demand is high. I don't know. It's almost if they got some lefty. I think this is what it is. This guy's probably just has like a left economic worldview, or just like a lefty, but he needs to pay the bills, so he works for whatever conservative news outlet, and I guess they don't read this or double check this or whatever, but this is like apparently the conservative conservative article, but it's totally It's totally like lefty logic here. We go through it when the progressives complain about affordable housing in places such as California, while simultaneously making it impossible to build affordable housing in places such as California. Supply and demand, conservatives say. If you want housing to be cheap and plentiful, then you need to let the supply catch up to demand. Well, that's not what actually. That's not even what they say. They say get rid of the regulations so you can build more. So yes. Politicians naturally cheer when wages go up, or most of them do anyway. Some of them get an earful from the Chamber of Commerce types from the employers who have to pay those higher wages, and they start to lecture the world about wickedness of politicians and the wonks who have never signed the front side of a paycheck. They don't usually complain that there's a price fixing in the labor market, but they do complain that we have labor shortage. Where's the price fixing in the labor market? They don't usually complain that there's price fixing. That there's price fixing in the labor market. Where's the price fixing in the labor market? We can't fill those jobs. They say, well, not for what you're paying for, you can't. Have you ever tried paying them more? I'd love it if a Rolls-Royce Cullinan costs about $40K, and they were selling Chateau or something for $10 down at the Circle K. But that's not how the market works. This article, I mean, you can just switch some words around and it would have been Jacobin. I'm pretty sure. Like literally, you can post this article in Jacobin. Just just pay the workers more. Yeah, you greedy capitalists. Can't afford to pay these wages. Tough noogies, Mr. Boss Man. That's such annoying. That's just like such an annoying string of words too. So oh god. I can't afford to fly private. A lot of people can't afford a new Subaru thing that costs what they cost. If your business doesn't work with labor trading at the market prices, then your business doesn't work. That happens. Then pay them more. Coincidentally, I bet this author wouldn't say, "Oh, the Chinese goods are Americans are buying the Chinese goods that are coming." Well, shit, American, tough luck, companies. You need to lower your fucking cost, or you need to increase your quality. It's like he's like trying to be like a populist writer. I'm not an economist. No shit, Sherlock. But I don't think you have to get into the particular mathematics of the relative shares of income that accrue to labor and to capital to appreciate what's going on here. A few critical things that have changed in the marketplace, and some workers now have a bit more or a lot more negotiating power than they did before. Hooray for the free market, and I strongly suspect that the guy who cuts my grass earns in six figures. I can't help but to notice the guy who owns my local car wash operation drives a more expensive car than most of his customers do. Some of my local restaurants and shops have been raised some prices because of hiring decent help has become more expensive, which is, let us all agree, terrific. It's a tough labor market out there. God help us. Good help is hard to find, so pay them more. So you're applauding some of my local restaurants and shops have raised some prices because hiring decent people has become more expensive, which is, let us all agree, terrific. What an idiotic point. Like, higher prices are terrific? What an imbecile thing to say. Has it occurred to you, maybe for you, if you have so much disposable income, that's fine, that's terrific, and you whatever, but to some people, I mean, that's basically everybody's buying power goes down. The hallmark of a good economy is we're getting so much more efficient, the prices are going down. People's pays are going up, or staying the same. Prices are going down, so people can buy more, people consume more. just prices going up because the restaurants can hire the same type of people they used to hire before. Well, that's just government inflation. That mostly probably hurts poor people because rich people have stocks and assets that go up with inflation, and a lot of the poor people, their income is not so flexible. Some people, do get a pay raise, but not everybody. Just for the fact that it's not perfectly elastic. Some work. If somebody has their own small business, well, their customers are going to switch to some other product. If either his margins shrink, he goes into the red. He can try to raise prices, but hey, there's a cheaper alternative. Maybe people switch over to that, and that person's out of business. So I don't see how this is a good thing. Inflation overall hurts quality, the standard of living. This is an awful Federal Reserve program. I mean, this is a horrible miscalculation by them. And a lot of poor people are going to get hurt by this. You shouldn't celebrate this.